What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one, I wanted to break down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers, and break down what's happening with the overall market moving forward, and some big news involving Tesla, as we had some Chinese sales come out, not to mention news about one of their chairwomen. But before I begin into all this information, before I get into any more details and break down Tesla, SPY, and the charts, let me just mention a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo, deposit $100, you're guaranteed 7 free stocks. And the offer ends very soon in just about a couple of weeks. So, anyways, for Tesla, I just wanted to call out that right now we're seeing Tesla kind of dipping a little bit. In my morning video, I mentioned that Tesla will likely see a little bit of downside as we're approaching this key support. I said this because Tesla was looking kind of weak during the pre-market relative to the markets, but I mentioned to everyone that Tesla has this range and Tesla would likely maintain this range for now, and that is exactly what's happened so far. So we're going to be breaking down some more levels about Tesla and talk about what you should be watching for just to be safe. But let's first talk about some news. So as you guys know, today is Tuesday, and at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so just a couple of minutes from now, we have Cash Kari from the Fed giving a speech. Whatever he says could affect the market, so just be prepared for that because Cash Kari is known for being a bigger hawk. That means that he tends to be more strict on policy, more stringent, and he does tend to actually favor more tightening of policy, at least relative to what other Fed speakers have said. So that's coming out alongside the 42-day bill auction. So look for volatility at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's going to be 8:30 for me because I'm in the Pacific Coast. But for people in the East Coast, it's 11:30 a.m. in New York time. That's when you should be watching for this. So watch and see how this ends up moving. And there's also news coming out about the Tesla chairwoman, Robin Denholm, who has come out and sold over $50 million worth of stock in 2024. That is very, very important. So she basically sold about another $17.3 million worth of her shares in the EV maker Tesla. And she actually has her total sales this year at about 50 million or even more than that. She joined Tesla's board as an independent director in 2014 and became the chair 4 years later. Sold some shares as was part of the 10b5-1 program put in place in October. She now sold over 281,000 shares allowed in the agreement. So that's some interesting news. I'm not sure if anything's going to be announced about her job or anything like that, which is why she's selling shares. Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. There's also some news that came out that the sales of Tesla's EVs made a fall because this is once again the Chinese made sales are dropping by about 18% in April. And that's despite the fact that BYD sales have jumped. So the media is always going to compare Tesla with BYD, but I just want to talk about this news. Tesla sold 62,000 China made EVs in April. That's down 18%. That's down 18% from a year earlier. That's actually very important based off the data that we have seen. The deliveries of the Chinese made Model 3 and Model Y have slid 30.2% from March, and the Chinese made cars are also exported to various markets, including Europe and other places like that. So that's something worth noting. With this contrast with other EV sales in some sectors kind of increasing for the month. We did see the Chinese made ones for Tesla kind of decreasing a bit, and there are things going on with the ferocious price wars. So that is something worth noting. So the question is, what is Tesla going to do as response to this? Are they going to be cutting prices? Are they going to be kind of offsetting this to some extent? We will just have to wait and see. But with that being said, now I just want to break down what's happening with the share price. So right now, as you guys can see, Tesla's looking kind of weak compared to the market. SPY is holding up in the 518 zone, kind of fighting that resistance, but Tesla kind of struggling to hold above 180. You guys could see that since Tesla got that nice push yesterday, it's been kind of dipping a little bit because of this bad news. The Chinese sales dropped. There are more layoffs for the company, and there's also like other pieces of news that were kind of negative about the NHTSA kind of doing another in-depth investigation on Tesla. So we had some negative news, which is why Tesla is dipping the way it is. We're going to be watching this support right here. You guys can see that Tesla likes to basically hold 178. That's going to be our key support. We have 180 is our resistance. Break that, then we have 182 coming. It's pretty much just that simple. That's where we've been stuck throughout the entire day so far, just going back and forth and back and forth. So I think Tesla's going to likely hover in this area and remain kind of weak. If we do lose 178, we're going to turn a lot more bearish, but we have to try to get bought back up for us to maintain this structure. So I would say that Tesla's looking a bit more bearish, but we are on the lower end of this range, at least for the time being. Now, compared to Tesla, I wanted to call out that SPY, of all things, this is actually holding up a lot better. So we're continuing to uptrend on SPY, right? I called out that it's going to likely test the 518s in my video yesterday and also my videos today. I said that in the morning, and that is exactly what's happening so far. We're at this 518 resistance, and SPY is kind of fighting right now. If we break through this, okay, and I want to show you guys something before. The last time we hit the 518 area, we did get a rejection, and then we also hit the 519.5 area and also rejected there again in the past. So if we do break this 518 to 518.5 area, we could go and get very close to 520, and then we'll see what happens with resistance there. If we and we could be even come a little bit below around like 519.5, by the way, so it doesn't have to be perfect, but that 519.5 to 520 areas can be our resistance if we break through this 518 area right here. And if we reject off 518 and start dipping again, I'll be watching the 517.25 area, not to mention 516.8, 515, and lower levels like that. Overall, we are trying to uptrend right now. We're holding up very, very nicely. We're trying to push, but we'll have to wait and see what SPY's reaction is. So just be very, very patient for now. I think that SPY does have a lot of potential, of course, but we're at some tight resistance. So we'll have to see if this is it or not. So wait and see, guys, especially because Cash Kari is about to start speaking. So whatever he says could affect us. So just wait and see what the reaction is. I'm being very patient right now. We're going to transition away from futures for now. I'm going to be focusing now on the QQQ. The QQQ, in my opinion, is actually holding up very nicely. We came up to this area at this 441 zone. Between 441 and 442.5 is where we had this resistance. The next level would have been like 442.5. We actually got stopped at 442, so just short of that. So with us kind of coming down to this area right here, I would say that the QQQ is once again in a resistance zone in the just around that 442 area. So we'll be watching to see how this ends up reacting. Will we end up breaking past the 442 area and start pushing to much higher levels, or will we end up getting a rejection? Because the last time we had 442.25, we got a big rejection. So we will see what the QQQ does from here. Watch 442. If we break this, I could be looking for a move all the way up towards about 444 or 443.5 to 444 as our next move. If we do break past this high, if we reject it right here, we're going to be coming back down. So we'll just have to watch and see how this ends up moving. But looking at this, I just want to say that right now, we had this resistance that got hit, and we are kind of turning right here. So watch and see if that ends up being the case. And I want to make it very, very clear that the QQQ is at resistance, and we just have to wait and see. For Nvda, Nvidia is coming down just a bit, so we did push all the way up to this about 920 area. I was looking for a retest. We kind of rejected right here. We're just shuffling for now. So we have resistance at 908. We have support at 900, and then also at 892. And we've been stuck within this range all day for the last 2 hours since the market opened. So we're kind of trading sideways for now. And we'll just have to see what the move is. But just know that Nvidia is trading sideways for the time being. We're still stuck within a range. And then for Apple, it's the same thing. Apple has declined a bit. We did call it a little decline coming to Apple and just sideways price action. So yes, it declined a bit, and we're still stuck within this range. The 182 and 181 areas are support zone, and then 184 is resistance. We've been going back and forth, so we're still kind of stuck, and we'll have to see what happens from here. On top of all of this, when it comes to, excuse me, Amazon, Amazon has been holding up pretty well. My target on Amazon was about this 190 area. So we came just short of that. We actually reached 189.5. So we came a little bit short of Amazon's target of 190. So it's very close to what I predicted. And we'll have to wait and see if we get a rejection there or not. So watch that resistance in the 190 area. Watch support at 187.8. Will we break past 190 or not? Watch that resistance. And then finally, we have Meta. In my opinion, Meta is once again pushing nicely. We're going to look at the 4-hour time frame right here. And you guys can see that the 4-hour is just showing that we're just under our 200 EMA. So this 470 to 472 areas where we have resistance, we will see if Meta rejects here and retraces back down to 460 or not. So watch and see if that ends up being the case. For the VIX, as you guys can tell, the VIX right here is coming down to fill this gap slowly. So we will see if this ends up filling the gap. We're kind of fighting to hold 13.5 for now. So I'm going to be watching to see what the VIX does. There's still a gap to fill that does suggest upside is still imminent in the markets. But just to be safe, let's wait and see how the VIX reacts. Do we bounce here or not? We're at support right now at 13.5, and we'll see how the VIX reacts. So I'll just be very, very patient. With that being said, I want to thank every single one of you so much for listening. Tesla is trading sideways between 178 and around 180. If we lose support, we could dip even more. Thank you for listening, guys. Have a great day, and peace out.